Hey there, comic friends and fiends. Rob here, and I have a video for you today. We've been anxiously kind of waiting for this one, and that is we're going to go ahead and do our first review of the EGS grading system. So I've sent off some comics. I've gotten 5 comics. I went and sent them off, and I have not taken any time to watch any videos or reviews from anybody else. So this is just kind of a first impressions kind of video. Before we get to the box, I just wanted to kind of take you here to the EGS. So EGS is another grading service. We know about PGX and CGC and CBCS in no particular order. The EGS is the new kids on the block who's doing some different stuff, doing something with their comics. And their big claim to fame, as you can kind of see it kind of scroll through here on their homepage, is these custom labels. So don't, if you are just like, you want to play Barbies with your comics and you want to get that perfect cover or a colored label to match the color of the book itself, you can do that here through their custom labels that they do. And you know, that's a thing for somebody probably, and there's a lot of people who aren't going to like it, and you know, wherever you fall in, that's for you to decide ultimately. I would say that I would probably be confused if I am looking in a bin full of graded books and I see these pink or red and black or what black labels. Does that necessarily mean it's better than a regular blue label? No, it just means that somebody decided to pay a little extra to have that black label. But without knowing it, it's kind of out there, not for anyone to know. So what they're doing is they've got essentially here on their site the services that they do, very straightforward, and I'll go into another video later on where I'm going to kind of compare all the different grading systems, but this is just simply straight and a first opinion EGS here. And what we have is essentially they have 6 categories that they have raw grading. So if you just want to get your book graded by an independent party, but you don't want to have it slabbed, EGS is going to offer this service for you. And this is where I think if they get the price right, and I'm not sure that I don't know, maybe $10 is the right price. I'm not sure where it lies, but I think that that is a service that I think that CBCS also offers, that is something potentially that could be good. If you have if I had like a Punisher, if I have the first appearance of the Punisher or something, raw book, and I don't want to slab it necessarily, but I'm going to sell that. And, I want to go ahead and sell it on eBay or some other third party system. Having that, it might be worth spending $10 to get that grade, to be able to say, hey, look, this is a raw book, raw grade, as of this date. Here's what a third party said this book was at. So it's not necessarily just you saying, I think it's in like a very fine condition, which of course means who knows what. We've all bought stuff on eBay where they say it's near mint and it's really like good, or vice versa, right? So this is something where I think they have a good opportunity to maybe really kind of get their business going, offering this type of value here. In their regular grading service, they have the regular grading service, which is a 14 business day turnaround, they say. For a modern book, it's $20 and $25 for Silver Age or Golden Age book. Then you have your Expert Certified Premium, and this is their basically 7 business day turnaround. So for that, you'll pay $35 on a modern book and $40 for a Silver Age or Golden Age. They have their Expert Certified Ultimate, which is a 3 to 5 business day turnaround when 7, I guess, isn't good enough. Your Expert Certified Same Day turnaround, which is 1 to 3 business days turnaround, which will run you $90 to $100. And then they have their Expert Certified Signature Series. So this is an add-on to the Expert Certified. If you have a book, if it was witnessed, and I'm not sure whether, they don't have their own witnesses, so I'm not sure what they constitute a witness being, unless maybe it's at an event where they're only at the events where they're physically at, in which case they'll charge you $8 to certify it. Or $10 for them to verify it. So it's really only $2 more. So this is whether or not you have a COA or not. I conversed with the owner a little bit via email, and he confirmed it. Yeah, if you send it with a COA, they're still gonna go through their process of validating the signature, and all that they'll do is if there's a question a little bit, if it's kind of like one of those ones where, oh, we're not quite sure, they'll give the edge to the COA, I suppose, versus not knowing. So anyways, so they will do, so this is another one. So it means now that's three grading services: EGS, CBCS, and PGX, that will all offer signature verification without you having to have a witness right then and there. So that's their main thing there on their pricing. You can see here they have a gallery of some examples with all their custom labels. The custom label is like another $5 for you to pick a special color. So it's sort of similar along the lines of, I guess, of CGC and their character labels, except that they're still traditional blue and everything else. The fact that I can get a yellow label, I guess, and put it on a book because it matches the color, but it's not really a signature verified book, that might cause some confusion out there. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I've never looked at one of their slabs before, so we'll find out. Submitting to them, it's online submission form. You can mail it in, or if you happen to be in Alaska, you can drop it off this place. Their online form is very similar. If you've ever seen the PGX form, I, for a double check, thought when I started to fill this out that I had accidentally clicked on the PGX form link that I use on a regular basis, but it's not. It's the EGS one. The big difference here, for those of you who've used a PGX form and been familiar, is that you can submit this electronically. You don't have to print it out, which means when you type in that title here, you can go beyond what displays, and when it transmits to them, they'll get the full description. The other thing that they do is they have you enter in here what you assess the condition is, and they utilize that. So if I mark this as mint condition and they get it, they come in there and they look at it and they're saying, no, this is in fine condition, they're going to call you up right away and start to talk to you to make sure that you have a correct expectations when you get the book back. Of course, you get all your different levels for all the different books, whether or not you're going to have them do pressing and cleaning, or just a straight press, the signature verification, and whether or not they're pre-screening, and pre-screening to what grade. So like the others, you can tell them, hey, pre-screen to anything to a 9.0, and if it's below a 9.0, they won't grade it. Instead, they'll just charge you a pre-screen fee. And send it back to you. And then, of course, you have this, the custom label. I did ask the question, if I did do a pre-screen to a 9.0 and I sent a book in, they did say that one of the option you could have, is you could just handwrite it on your form or contact them ahead of time, is that if the book, I could sit there and say, hey, let's pre-screen the book. If it falls below a 9, don't slab it, but give me a raw grade. Go ahead and go through the raw grade, because listen, if I'm going to charge $5 just to get the book back, have them pre-screen it, they'll said they would just then instead just charge you for the raw grading, which is $10. I might as well spend the extra $5, still get the grade, know what the heck the third party says it is, and be able to utilize that as a raw grade instead of having it necessarily if it's gone through the full expense of the slab. Just a thought. I also asked about their pressing. They do not offer a pre-screening for pressing. So that's something that PGX does that so far from I've determined none of the other grading services do. But so this is where, so you basically need to determine ahead of time whether or not it needs a press and a screen. The screening turnaround time on this, for pressing, when you go through the price of it's another 14 days, and it's a cumulative add-on. So these books that I sent them in and had them pressed, and then I had them graded. I did not, even though I thought they were probably okay, I decided to have them all pressed because I prefer to err on the side of caution and not end up leaving a grade on the table. I would hate to get a 9.6 when a little press would have hit that 9.8 and made a huge difference in the value of the book. Not that the books that are in here are anything value. They're like some books I got out of a mystery box that I would never have bought myself because I don't know about EGS or anything about them. This is my first foray, and so here we go, right? So that's a quick bit from their oversight, from their website there. So let's go ahead and open up this box and let's see what we what goodies we got in store, what their grades are, what they're like. Well, the first thing, my first impression is I'm a little bit scared. So I sent 5 books to them to be graded. And there are 5 books apparently inside this box. Now, normally 3 and packing material is about the maximum that you put inside these medium flat rate boxes. So the fact that there are potentially 5 books in here scares me a little bit. Or maybe they're using real thinner slabs than everybody else. That is a possibility too. Not sure. Like I said, this is my first chance time doing this, and first impression. I like you to see there is at least some bubble wrap in there, which is good. All right, and it seems to be fairly well wrapped. I see bubble wrap on the outside, and then large bubble wrap on the outside, and then we have a layer of small bubble wrap on the inner side. So that appears to be relatively well packed, and they are using some heavy tape. I'm just trying to figure out where that tape joint might be, or here we go. I really didn't expect to have to fight this much. And I can tell you right now, they are using thinner slabs. So that's one of the things that we see here. I'm going to unstack these without looking at them face down. What's interesting is I've seen that there's a grading certificate that comes with each one of these, which is interesting. So we will we'll take a look at that, and we'll look at each of these books. These are really actually thin slabs. The last one is fighting me. There we go. Victory is mine. All right. We'll take a look here. So without taking a look at, I just want to see how thin this slab is. Now, I'm not going to go too much into comparing other things. This video is meant to be a first impression of EGS, and that's just what I'm striking here. I will do another video in a couple days over this weekend where I will actually grab a slab from each of the 4 grading services and do a comparison side by side of the slabs, observations, things I like and don't like. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. But so this is how thick the slabs are, and you get a little certificate of authenticity on the back of the book here. And so it tells you what the book is, what date it was graded, what grade it received, and it has grading notes actually on the certificate. So we have that is kind of cool. So you will get the grade. You don't have to ask for it. Now, that is unfortunately something that's separate from the rest of the book. But, since without trying to get into comparison of the others, and I'll save that for another time. So let's just say it's real nice to be able to, you don't have to go ask for it or anything else, but they do supply that with you right here. So of course, having looked at that certificate, I now have ruined the reveal on this book for me. I now know what this grade is, and I am shocked. But let's go ahead. I'm going to take this out of the plastic so we can get a good look at this slab in its entirety. It's just a little thin piece of paper with their little logo. The real problem with this is, I'm sorry. This would be okay even if there was a number. Well, maybe there's a service number here. This is a barcode and a service number. And maybe that number corresponds. It does. There's a number on the top of the book here. So the certificate is tied to the book, and they obviously have a lot of numbers. They're obviously very hopeful. If these go in chronological order, this will tell you how few books they've graded. So this book is essentially number 611, but it is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, which, looking at my other books here, I'm going to say it probably is. That means that really they have not been, there's not a lot of graded books with EGS out there in the market if this is book 611. So anyways, let's take a look at this together here. Let's go ahead and so what we have here, I guessed right, good. So this is Cosmic Ghost Rider, and I'm going to turn off that big bright shiny to try to cut down some of the glare. And so what we have here is Cosmic Ghost Rider #1, Unknown Comics exclusive, dedicated story. Okay, so Virgin cover, EGS certified series. So I did not pay for any custom labels, and so they told me their default followed the CGC default. So blue label is the standard. If it was a signature, it would be a yellow, green restored, etc. All right, and so this we got a 9.4, which we have because when I can go to the grading notes, there's a corner scuff on the bottom left front corner, spine stress lines on the front and back cover. So considering there are some ticks, which is interesting because, well, but you know, I don't know. I didn't pay for this book. This was a freebie book that I got from Unknown Comics. It was a throw-in. I thought it was kind of a cool cover and thought, what the hell, so for this whole purpose, we'll send this in and go take a look. But so what we have here that is, I'll just take a look at this slab here together. So we have these brackets on the top. So it's not a smooth top. There's actually no label on top. So when I go and insert these books in my box of graded comics, I have no way to see what the book is without having to pull it out. Now, obviously, I'm going to know that it's an EGS book because none of my others are going to have these knobbies on top of here. I'm guessing that this is their hinge system. It looks like maybe this opens up because they have, so they put these security seals on all four sides here to prevent somebody from tampering with it. So from a display purpose, now you've got these security tabs there because it looks like they've, based on this down here, this kind of notch, basically it looks like they're using some kind of slab your own slab almost to that just swing open. They lay the book in it and close it down on top of it. Is what it kind of looks like. They do have a plastic, there's like a clear tape as well. So in addition to these seal tabs, you can kind of see the glare starting up here from where it's flat up here, where this is a tape that runs down and it folds over the edge on both sides too. So it is pretty well secured in there. I don't think that you could sneak in there and get that book out at all to swap it out for a different book. From an observation standpoint on this one book here, the first one I'm at, I don't know if you can see, but there you can see the label is not laying flat in there. It's kind of wavy. And also, if I can see in here, we're getting, I don't know if that's grease or whether or not they're having a Newton ring-esque issue, but there is in through here and in through his chest, there is some, let's see, try to get the angle just right to kind of catch it on the computer screen. Probably not. I'll see if I can get it on a still photo, but anyways, there's something that's not quite right from a clarity. It's not from a clarity standpoint. It's just discolored. It almost looks like something's kind of like some kind of grease or maybe something that was caught pressing that part of the book up closer, which the book should have been pressed, so it shouldn't be the book being 3D. Oh my God! Actually, let's see if I can get it like this and kind of, because that's where I could see the angle was. Trying to see if I get it on my monitor where I see it. You start to see all through in here and in here, right here, you can start to see that discoloration there, and up along through here, and then across this midline here. You see all those spots. Huh. All right. All right, so this book here, this is a War of the Realm. Oh man, I can see. I don't even. You can see right here already too. Same thing. Look at that, and up here. So this is a War of the Realms book. We have. This is a Comic Mint exclusive. These are all out of like a mystery box. So, and we got on this one a 9.8. Okay, good. But again, we have this label is not laying flat here. Oh God. See if I can get that front to all that stuff goop on the front to show up on this one. The front of this book is worse than you can't doesn't well, as I'm looking at it, I can see again just all through right through the main bit that it's not pretty. All right, so what do they write on a 9.8? On a 9.8, okay, so we have War of the Realms #1 received a grade of 9.8. The corner scuff on the top left front corner. Top left front corner, they claim there's a scuff because there's I don't know what they see. There's a bindery defect there, perhaps, but whatever. 9.8. All right. And that one, by the way, is a 1 of 1,000. They don't. Oh, they do note it here. They note it on actually on the book. It's kind of nice. So up here, they noted this is number 474 of 1,000 copies printed. So I sent. I don't know. No, that's just I sent in the COA with it, and so they go ahead and throw that extra information on there, which is kind of nice. I like having that on there. All right. This is another War of the Realms book. This is the Del Auto variant. Dark cover, and I can see, already I saw for a second. Yep, you can see along in here some of that discoloration kind of comes out from their process that they have here. And 9.8. This is a corner scuff on top and bottom left front cover. Yeah, so the only thing I can see, these books, what they're calling a corner scuff, this is okay, fair. I mean, it is a 9.8. I'm not going to argue that. I mean, it's not. I mean, it got a 9.8. It's not a 9.9 or whatever in a search imagination, but it's. I'm never able to get it with this glare in here, but I mean, you can kind of see. This is. It's a comic book that got shipped, right? But hey, cool. At least they're putting something on there, even for a 9.8, which is good. Because I mean, we know other grading companies that wouldn't bother. Okay, this is going to be our deceased number 3 comic mint edition B. And again, you can start to see when I get the angle just right and the light a little bit right, try not to get too much reflection on my monitor. But there is some of that discoloration that's there. And our grade, 9.8. And corner scuff, top left front cover, small indentation on the back cover. So little minor defects, not enough to cause it to drop a grade. Well, this is definitely in there. I can see what this is. This discoloration is from the plastic bag that they seal the book in, because as I'm looking along the edges, I can see it along there too, where the bag goes out to the edges. So this is in certain spots, for whatever reason, they're getting that. And that's, I don't know if you can see. I mean, there's a lot of it. Say what you will. So far, every one of these books has that, and I'd have to. I'm going to guess that if I display this on the wall, that's going to come through, because I have a CGC book that's hanging on my wall that's like that, and I almost want to send it off to get it redone just because of that. But all right, last one. This book. Oh, this is my Vampirella #1. This is Comic Mint exclusive B cover. It's a very kind of cool cover here. Let's take a look. See, 9.8. Bravo. That's good. So these were all 9.8s except for that one Ghost Rider, which actually doesn't surprise me, because when I originally got that Ghost Rider in as a freebie book, I remember looking at it going, oh, disappointing. It's not a 9.8. It's probably like a 9.4, 9.6 anyway. So it's right where I thought it would be. But so I would say that their grading was pretty much where I expected. You can see right here that more of that discoloration that comes through from that wrap. But I don't know. From a grading side of everything goes, my impression is I'm not surprised. Now, I didn't send probably if I really wanted to challenge them, I would have sent some older book from my collection that's I didn't care about or that I had duplicates of, and I probably, in hindsight, and maybe I still will. Oh wow, they're not straight. This has become a pet peeve of mine recently, that the books are in there cockeyed somewhat. What was the grading notes on this? This said spine stress lines on front cover. This had spine stress lines on the front cover, and you gave it a 9.8. Where is spine? Maybe. I guess maybe we could call. Okay, there's one. Looks like there's one little spine kind of indentation or whatever. It's maybe, maybe 1/8 of an inch if you're generous. So it's probably less than that. So that's probably why it's right at the right in the middle of the book. Interesting. Okay. Well, cool. We'll take it. So anyways, like I said, the grading itself, kind of where I thought it was. Maybe we'll try it again with a couple, books from the mid-90s that aren't ever going to be worth jack, that just to see how they grade something that we don't expect to be a 9.8, something that we expect to be somewhere in that mid-grade, to see how accurate, where they come out on those. But then again, I'm not sure I want to spend $20 for this slab. My impression comes off here. Well, it's nice to have another company out there that's doing it. Not having a label, these tabs on top, and are kind of annoying. Other than that, the case is nice and clean. I mean, there's no shape to them. They're perfectly flat. So if you want, when if you're stacking these books, they're going to stack really flat. There's not really a nesting to them necessarily. They will probably could display really nice on the wall, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, these tabs distract from it, and I'm really concerned with the fact that every single one of these books has an issue with that plastic underneath there, having this discoloration that kind of shines through, kind of Newton ring-esque almost. They're not Newton rings, but it's like little oil slicks, and it's rather. There, I had it for a second there. There we go. These oil slicks across the front of the book and the back of the book are kind of let down. Now, I think that from a pricing standpoint, they're at $20. Hey, it's in there with the rest of them. It's not the cheapest, as we'll find out when we do our evaluation. It's not the most expensive either. I think where they have the opportunity, really, if they want to differentiate themselves and get out there, I would find a way to redo that case without those top hinges, put a label on the top of it, clean up your oil slick, but in the interim, focus on those raw grading. I think there's an opportunity there potentially. There's a lot of people who don't like the idea of encapsulating their books in there. Now, granted, that raw, when they do that, my understanding is they kind of seal the bag, but you can take it out and read it. Now, once you do that, obviously the grade now is meaningless once you've done that. So, but I think there's still an opportunity, especially for some older books, people that are reselling books, to have that desire to do that. I do like the fact that if I send a book in on a pre-screen, that I can tell them, hey, anything that doesn't hit this level, just go ahead and give me a raw grade book. So that's kind of interesting, kind of cool. From a time turnaround, so I'll say this. So I sent, first of all, every email I communicated to them through their standard customer service line, I got a response back within hours, including the email I sent out on a Sunday evening, and I'm on the West Coast. They're on the East Coast. It was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got an email on a Sunday or Monday morning, and I got an email response like very short order. So obviously this is a very small shop. As we said, these books are this is 614, 613, 615, 611, 612, right? So obviously there's not a high volume going through there. It's probably a one guy show. He's since every email I got responded to was CEO of the company responding, but hey, that's fine. Every business has to start somewhere. Is the grading accurate? It seems to be. This is one shot, one chance so far on modern books. So that doesn't mean that they are or they're not. Grading is a subjective art, and it can only be evaluated through repeated usage over and over again and get what is that come out at the end. We cannot take a 1, 2, 3 book sample size, or take one book and send it to 4 different graders and see what they each come back at. That only tells you that one instance, doesn't really tell us the whole thing, and everybody has an on day and off day, whatever else. So the main thing I want to focus on really is the books themselves. The slabs, I've kind of beat them to a death. I love the notion of sending me the grading notes with it. I don't have to ask for it. I don't have to look it up. The fact that it's a piece of paper, and number is tied to the book is good. Would probably be better if everybody would just put the grading notes on the back. then it's there and it can't go away. This obviously can go away, get lost, whatever else. Now, I'm sure if I called them up and asked for a replacement, they would send me a replacement. But it's just, it is what it is. But hey, it's a nice touch. It's something different. Probably the same ones they use on their loose grading. So anyways, I was talking about time turnaround. So I sent the emails. Every email I got a response back within hours. Now, typically for me, if I'm contacting a business, I expect a 2 business day service level agreement, SLA. Sorry, I'm in the customer service business, so I expect that turnaround time. So well within those margins. He was very forthcoming, answered all my questions. I even upfront told him that, hey, I'm going to be doing this, that, and I just want to make sure I get these answers from you correctly, even though some of them are on your website, or when I had questions about a grading service that was listed on his web form initially that wasn't on his website, and they realized it was an old service that they don't offer any longer, and so they got rid of it. But so he cleared up for me the question about the grading turnaround time and the pressing turnaround time, and confirmed that it's a cumulative. Doesn't run in parallel. So when they tell you it's a 14 business day turnaround time for grading, that's just for grading services. If you want to have the book pressed and cleaned, that's a 14-day business day turnaround. So it's cumulative. You add it together, that becomes a 28 business day turnaround. Business days, not calendar days. So that ends up being just over a month. Now, was that what I got? Absolutely. I sent the books in. Let's see. I will bring. Let me take a quick look. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think the dates were. I'm bringing up my email on my screen into EGS, and of course, this is the time that my computer wants to go super slow. Well, I'm trying to do this live, so you're going to see an edit here. Okay, so back from the edit. So I sent these books off to EGS and received an email confirming their receipt on May 14th. Then I received an email on June 15th telling me that they had been completed and were shipping out. So that there is 31 calendar days. So count out the weekends. Were we within 30 business days or 28 business days? Yes, we were. It worked out to be about 26, if I did the math, probably 24 business days. So absolutely within the time that they committed to, promised the turnaround. So that was good. Communication, excellent, on time, everything else. So there you go. I hope you found this interesting. We're going to go ahead and informative and give you a little bit of information. So you might want to check them out for yourself and make your own decisions. Obviously, do what you want. Use whoever you want to be a grading service. Read what you want. I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. So I leave it to you to be the judge and decide whether or not you want to explore EGS for yourself and give them a shot and see whether or not they provide service for you. Please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you like this. Keep in mind, I did not get paid by EGS. I do not represent any comic book industry. I did not receive any discounts for doing this review or anything else. This is just strictly me, a guy off the street, taking my own personal books, spending my personal money, just as you will, to send them off at grading and sharing with you my first opinion of EGS. Thanks again. Remember, hit like and subscribe. Check back and hit the alert button. That alert button is going to let you know when I drop my next video in a couple days, which will be our CGC, CBS, CBCS, PGX, EGS slab comparison. Then we'll be dropping another video where we're going to run through the services that they offer in a no spin zone, just comparing straight factual as much as I can to keep it neutral and not put any personal belief into it. Why? Not because I want it to be a comparison for you to say one's better than the other, because anybody who tells you that one grading service is better than another is full of garbage. It's subjective, it's personal opinion, it's personal choice. I just want to give you a resource to get some information so that you can decide for yourself which way you want to go, because that's what I like, is to be able to get that somebody to lead me and I go, oh, that's interesting. In the end, we do what we want, do what you like. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day.